Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my stream. When I started off at Vermont Public Radio, an affiliate of NPR, the first thing they told me is never apologize for a mistake. If you start a record the wrong way or if you end it abruptly, never apologize. And the reason why is because 90% of the people listening to the station never heard the mistake. And by the fact that you would apologize for it would only draw attention to the mistake. But I'm going to break the rule today because yesterday's stream I have problems even with this stream where I had to reborrow my son's gaming helmet so I could speak to you. I have a problem with microphones, and that's because I ordered a microphone on the internet and the equipment hasn't arrived yet. So, and from what I saw last night, it's not going to be here for quite a while. But at the same time, we know there's nobody watching this stream or not that many people, and I thank you for those of you that make the effort to come here. But anyways, this is going to allow me just to get used to all the mechanisms to make these streams work because I just don't want to stick a camera in the corner and then just film what's going on. To me, that has no value. I want this to be a lively stream. I have want to implement videos, music, different camera angles. As you can see, I have my little HD camera. I have two of them. Unfortunately, I didn't get the switch or the little box that can help me hook it to my computer yet. That's another piece of equipment I'm waiting for. But anyways, all that will get sorted out as time goes by. When I started to paint years ago, I really only had one issue: arrive in the studio and try to figure out something better than what I did yesterday, improve my paintings. And then about 10 years ago, I decided to do something else, to make a movie of every one of my paintings. So I had to kind of change the way I painted because, as many of you who are painters might know, and know, I'm sure, is that when you're painting, the wonderful thing about it is to be able to let your mind drift. You know, you get stoned, you put on some music, you paint, and then you just meditate while you're painting. That is the best part. That's the reason why we've all become painters. But then when I decided I would make these movies, I kind of had to juggle and stop my meditation, take the cameras, move them around. And then over the years, it became an automatic thing. I learned to get that down pat and wasn't a problem anymore. But now I decided to add a third element to my paintings, which is now the streaming. So, besides learning the Streamlabs OBS program to learn how to do this, getting all um, the sources and ready, and all the different little stages ready to make things more interesting and not as boring. Well, I I kind of had to learn all this stuff, and I started this painting which is behind me, which you can see right here, this painting of this series of dancers that I started a while ago. And here I'll show you a few of my other let me just look this up very quickly and show you a few of my other dancers that I had. So here, for example, is one of my dancers. This is called my cosmic dancer on top of the world. So that was basically one of my dancers, and this was another one of that series of dancers as well. And then finally, my last dancer I did was this one right here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go back and as I started on my last stream to do, I I basically started putting paper all around and in the center, because what I want to do is actually splatter some paint in the central oval area of this painting. So this is in the process what I was going to do, and this is what I'm going to do today. The only bummer is that because I don't have a microphone, I'm not going to be able to talk you through my what I'm doing. So basically, what I'm going to do is shut off the mic, put down these headphones, and then go about doing my business. So the first thing I'm going to do, obviously, is continue to put the newspaper around. Then I'll probably come back, grab the microphone, talk to you once more and tell you. And then I'm going to move my painting, move the table that it's sitting on right now. Then I'm going to set my painting on the floor. And then I'm going to mix the paint that I need and I'm going to start splattering. So, anyways, that's what today's goal is in the studio. So, what should I do right now? I guess I will switch cameras, and then basically um, I will continue to do my newspaper protection or whatever. So I'm going to set down the camera, turn off the mic, and I'm going to get to work, okay? I'll finish by putting the rest of the newspaper once the painting is on the floor. So what I'm going to do right now is just basically switch everything around, move the canvas, move the table that the painting is sitting on, and put the canvas, like I mentioned earlier, on the floor. So I'm going to do that. Once again, I'm sorry about all this microphone stuff, but it's a good way to learn, and the whole point of me is to be here is really to keep painting. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to shut off the mic once again, put down the headphones, and move things around, and I'll be letting you watch this from afar. So as you can see, I put the painting on the floor. It just took me a few seconds to get things right. I'll show you the reason why is because I had to get my other camera, the one that I'm filming, because I'm also going to be making a movie of the making of this painting as well. So I can't only just think of the stream and that camera, but I also have to think about the other camera for when I do the editing later on. So let me show you what I mean. So I took the other camera and I put it on top of my table there so I can have a higher shot of the splattering of the paint on that canvas. So eventually I will have both cameras when I do the editing. I'll have the one that the stream is filming right now, and then I'll have the other main camera, which is a better resolution since it's full HD, and I'll have that higher view looking down on the canvas, which is always kind of nice to watch when I do the editing of the movie. So, of course, as you can hear maybe in the background, since there are many artists in this area, I left the door open. You can hear the ambiance in the studio. Claudine, who has a studio upstairs where she does jewelry, just came in, said hello through the door, but didn't want to disturb me. And I can hear that she's talking to my neighbor, painter Francois Nazika, who's right across the hallway from me. So they're talking there. Maybe you can hear them, maybe you can't, I don't know. So, anyways, I'm going to continue now to put the newspaper around my oval, and then I'm going to get the paint ready, and then I'm going to start splattering. After I get the newspaper all done, I'll probably come back to the microphone, or maybe what will I do? Maybe while I'm getting the paint ready, I'll play one of my video movies or something to entertain you, or pass a slideshow or something. I'm not sure. Right now, I'm just going to finish putting the newspaper, get that ready, and then I can get the paint ready and start splattering. And then I'm going to leave things that the way it is overnight because it's going to be on very thick and it's going to take at least overnight to dry. So, anyways, let me cut my microphone off one more time. And then, or what would happen if I just left the mic on? Would you hear rude noises in the room? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the microphone on, and you'll maybe hopefully pick up some of the ambiance, ambient sounds of the room. Eventually, and I haven't done this yet because I'm a slow learner. What can I say? Hopefully, I'm going to have like some sound and music. I would play some right now. But with all these copyright laws, these big millionaire corporations, they want their cut, just because you're playing their friggin' music, even if it is the Grateful Dead who let people listen and record their music for free. But anyways, so until I can figure out how to get some music on from some of my friends or whatever, I'll have that as a background. So far, I haven't had time to set that up yet. So, anyways, I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to leave the microphone on. Hopefully, it'll pick up some of the sound. But then again, I do have filters that's supposed to cut the sound when it's not in use. Who knows? Okay, I'll see you in a bit. So there you have it. I have the paper all set to protect the areas that I don't want any paint to be splattered on. Now I'm just going to mix up the paint and then we'll get ready for that. I guess I could turn the camera maybe so we can see my workbench. There we go. So you can see where my workbench is with the camera on top of it. In the background, we have like a little kitchen area with a sink. Very practical to wash the paintbrushes. Anyways, I'm going to put down the mic and start mixing the paint. So getting the right amount of paint and getting the texture of the paint that I'm going to splatter is really important. I don't want it to be too liquid because then you'll see through it. It won't be good. And you don't want it to be too thick either. So what I do as well, I start with the darker color and then I'll put a second coat much lighter on top of it, and sometimes even a third coat. It depends what it looks like. Like here, I'm going to go with this kind of a dark turquoise. Then I'm going to put a much lighter turquoise on top of that. And then I might put just a little stream of black on top. I'm not sure, but it sounds good. Now I'm looking at this. I'm going to try it on the side. It seems a little liquidish, so I might just add a little more paint to it just to be safe. Okay, putting down the mic again. Okay, I think I got the texture of my paint right. Now, the only thing I got to remember and worry about now is the thickness of the brush that I'm going to use to splatter this paint on. If the paintbrush is too thin, I'm going to have a very thin line. If the paintbrush is too large, too thick, then I'm going to have a huge splatter. So I have to kind of judge what brush, the size of my canvas, the size of what my splatters are going to be like. I was hoping to do like a three branches, but I'm not sure. And a lot of it is a question of luck too. It's hit or miss. So I'm going to turn on my camera that's on top of the table there to have the upper view of what I'm doing. And then I'm going to splatter this first coat and hope that it turns out okay. Once again, I'm sorry I have to put down my microphone, and I will hopefully be back with you in a few seconds.
Je voulais te dire, oui. Je sors de chez Dalve, et le magasin pour lequel des postes. C'est genre comme les artistes, peinture, les cheveux, tout ce qui est pour les artistes. Ils ferment définitivement et à 40%.
C'est pas mal.
40%, je veux.
Oui.
Je suis allée moi aussi, mais je pense pas. Je pensais parce que tu m'as dit que tu avais plus de toi avec ta chose. Ça va peut-être le.
Tout à fait, tout à fait. So this is the part where you see I'm still not that good at it because I wanted you to see the splattering. And unfortunately, I forgot to lower the first camera, took care of the second camera, and I have to stop filming with the second camera. Oh boy, this is going to be a real challenge. Oh man. So I'm laughing because even my other camera, I forgot to turn it on to record. So thank God this is only the first coat of my splattering. Hopefully when I put the second coat on, which is what I'm going to do right now. So these two coats and even maybe the third coat all dry together. This time I'll leave my camera down. I'll do the mixing of my paint as a sideshow or whatever. So anyways, let me see what we can do here. I'll just leave this the way it is and just what will I do? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to move the camera back up maybe like this, and then at least you'll follow that, and this time I'll try to remember what I'm doing. So Okay, I got my second layer of paint ready. Even thought of lowering the camera. It's a miracle. Now, let me get my face out of the frame. Lower this maybe just a tad more, like that. What does that give us? Okay, see a little better. Let me just one more, little bit more. There we go. Like that, we can see the whole thing. Okay, I'm gonna put this down and then I'm gonna start doing my thing here. Okay, well, to be honest, I'm happy with the results. Um, Now, the last question I'm asking myself is, do I put this third coat of a very thin, some black paint, or do I leave it like this? And it's kind of a question I have to answer now because I have to take all this newspaper off before the paint dries. Otherwise, it becomes a nightmare taking off the newspaper. It's all stuck in the paint, acts as a glue. So, what do I do? The question is to answer that, I have to know what I'm going to do even after that. So, oops. I want to pull off my computer. Can't wait to get that microphone. The microphone I ordered is one of these tie clip microphones, which will allow me wireless, of course, so I'll be able to walk around the studio. And then eventually, when I can get my two cameras hooked up, it'll make a big difference as well because I'll be able to zoom in and won't have to move the camera anyways, and the quality will be better. Well, whatever. Okay, something tells me that I'm going to put that little streak of black in there. Just, I don't know why, but I just feel like that's what I have to do. So you have to excuse me once again. I'm going to put the microphone down. I'm going to leave it on no matter even if it makes a lot of weird noise. And then I'm going to get my paint ready. Thanks. So here I'm mixing up my black paint. And I've had a lot of problems with the black paint lately. I've used Liquitex paint for many, many years. And Liquitex here in France is an affiliate of Le Franc Bourgeois, another high class paint manufacturer for artists. And I've had a lot of problems. I noticed just before the isolation of the COVID that the quality of my Liquitex black paint didn't cover as it used to. I mean, I'd have to put 2 or 3 coats, which was a real pain in the neck because when you do your signature and you use black paint, you want it to be opaque. You don't want to see through it. I can't put 3 coats on a signature. So then I tried the Le Franc Bourgeois, the other expensive French thing. Same problem. And so I called them up. Of course, I fell on some guy who probably didn't give a shit. Told them that I thought they were, because I noticed this in the last batch. First of all, the shape of the the can of paint had changed. It went basically from this kind of shape into this kind of a shape of Liquitex paint. Except this is the shit that didn't cover. So I called them up and I started bitching and telling them, why did you guys cut down on the amount of pigments you put into your goddamn paints? So, anyways, of course, what difference did it make? They didn't even bother. I don't even think I fell on the guy. I fell on his answering machine. So I had to leave the message. Of course, they never bothered to call me back. You know, to have somebody yell at you, what's the point? Anyways, it was a real bummer. So I've been using this like the cheapest kind of black paint called I Love Art. This is the brand I've been using, which has been covering very well, very opaque. So what the hell? I had to go back. Thank God I had this tube of paint. But it bums me out because I have a whole big 1 kilo of paint that I'm probably never going to use, or I'll use as borders where I don't mind putting on 3 coats when before all I had to do is just put 1 coat. But anyways, enough bitching. I'm going to go and splatter this black paint, and then I'm going to leave the camera rolling, and then I'm going to take off the newspaper. So I'll see you in a few seconds. I'm going to again take off this microphone or this headset. Filmer, bien sûr. So, as you notice, I did have to cheat a little bit because when you do the splatter, I'd rather it be a little edge that I just take the paintbrush and just poke in the colors that are missing. Nobody notices it when it's all finished, and it just makes it so much easier to paint on the inside track. So there you have it. That's basically what I'm going to do for today, because I'm going to leave the paint to dry overnight. It takes a while. I have to leave it on the floor because if I put it up, then the paint might drip and screw up the whole thing. So I'm just going to leave it dry. It'll give me the rest of the afternoon off. That's fine with me. And it'll give me a good excuse to end this stream. So I hope you've kind of enjoyed watching all this. One more step to getting a show that is working properly without any hiccups. And hopefully, eventually, if you're patient and stick around, we'll get this microphone situation sorted out. I don't know how, except to wait for it to arrive. I'm not going to buy another microphone. It costs they're pretty expensive as is. So we're just going to have to bite the bullet and ride things out as we go. Once again, I'm going to leave you with my schedule, which is always fraught with technical difficulties. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work out the way I plan it to. But anyways, I'm going to leave you with my schedule. I'm going to thank you once again for joining me on the show. And I'll see you tomorrow, where we will. What will we do tomorrow? Let me check out this painting once again, see where we're at. And so either we will continue and finish the background. I see somehow I see some white flowers in the turquoise for the background. And I don't know all around it that mauve, that light kind of what color is that? It's not pink, it's not purple, but whatever. The outer shell, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do there either. I kind of improvise as I go along every day. I don't really always have an clear-cut idea. I mean, it seems to me already very structured. I mean, compared to an abstract painter, who just wings it as he goes along. So I also have to have a little bit of improvisation to make these paintings interesting as well. So we'll see tomorrow what happens. In the meantime, I want to thank you once again, as I said, for joining me, and I'll leave you with my schedule, and I'll say see you tomorrow. Bye now.